going to be phenomenal.
I love that word. Good, thank you for saying that.
The forecasted growth in demand because of electrification of transportation alone in Canada, Australia and the UK, they're predicting a 40 to 50% electricity demand increase based on EVs alone, based on electrification alone, just of transportation. And so you can imagine that you're putting this massive amount of load at the edge of the network, I guess, where it traditionally, the network was designed to support houses with maybe a stove or a microwave and some appliances, and now it's going to have a big charger there. And so that's going to have a massive impact. And the amount of augmentation that's going to have to happen to the network to support that, just at face value, would be enormous. And so it's going to be smart technologies and some embedded generation to try and help make that a smooth future. It's actually, I think, going to be one of the key parts of it is making the grid smarter. And one of the CEOs of the transmission distribution networks in Australia basically said that in many countries at the moment, major drivers for electrification and renewable development is for energy security, because that's a big challenge globally right now. As the geopolitical frame is shifting a little bit, it's becoming a bit more challenging. And then in many countries, the transition to renewables for a clean, net zero 2050 or 2040 or whatever it might be, every country's got their own goals. That's driving a massive electrification trend and huge amount of renewables going into the network. And an Australian CEO said that for the network to be able to handle this transition, its capability needs to increase dramatically. I think he said 3 to 4 times the capability. And he wasn't talking about capacity, because capacity means upgrading all the poles and the wires and the transformers and the substations, and like the cost to do that and the effort required to do that is mind-blowing. It's ridiculous. And so the only way we can achieve these goals is by making the grid more capable. And that's through intelligent sensing, intelligent control, computer algorithms making decisions on the fly, doing a bit more energy arbitrage and sharing your EV charger with my solar panels and their battery system and those types of things.
Making the grid more capable is excellent. I would, as a reliability expert, I'd call it make it more reliable as you make it more capable. So you've just already mentioned some of the challenges that but as it relates to specifically dynamic ratings, what are some of the challenges you as a company are seeing? Since you're the product portfolio guy, you've got to develop that product for that future. What are some of the challenges you all are seeing?
It's kind of exciting because I get to move around the world quite a lot and talk to different utilities to hear about what problems they're having, and I'm actively involved in Seagrey, where you hear about the challenges that are happening. And so there's a number of key touch points. One is balancing the network right now, particularly the power delivered to your house, because making sure that power is within limits and it's available when you want to put on a big solar system on your roof, enabling, the network should be an enabler to enable you to have the solar or the EV or whatever it might be. That's really critical. So enabling the network to function correctly and manage power quality and making sure the network is operating correctly down at that low voltage level, serving the customers. That's an area where DR has been doing a lot of work with expanding our monitoring capabilities down into that part of the network and doing kind of unique projects where we're doing control of electric vehicle charges and supporting utilities as they try and understand how they're going to handle these challenges. That's probably a major one. The second one is our traditional business of asset condition assessment and helping utilities eke out better efficiency of use and longer life of their bigger primary assets in the substations. Because the augmentation is going to have to happen to be able to support all this stuff, and the cash is not going to be available to be able to upgrade transformers or maintain things quite as frequently, and the staffing isn't quite there the same as it was 50 years ago or 40 years ago. And so that's having more data and more actionable results from monitoring systems is really going to be a core part of DR's future to be able to support utilities through this.